Hi everyone, in this video I want to show my course project Fitness Assistant, and before I talk about this I just want to show it in action. So I run it, and this is an application to which I can talk about different exercises. So for example, I can ask what are possible alternatives to Romanian deadlift. And then based on the data it has about exercises, which is this one, so there's 206 different exercises classified by type of activity, type of equipment, body part type, whether it's pull or push exercise, which muscles are used, and how to perform the exercise. Based on that, it recommends different exercises. So for example, possible alternatives to the Romanian deadlift include deadlift, dumbbell deadlift, kettlebell deadlift, and so on. Right? And then I can give feedback that this is a positive answer, and I can continue talking to this. How do I do push-ups? Right? And then based on the data, it gives me an answer. How do I do this? So this is the app that I built, and right now I want to talk about how to run this app. So everything that we need is in this repo, of course, and um, yeah, here we have the instructions. I started. Yeah, I thought I started a GitHub codespace. Let me see if I still have it. Yeah, it's a fresh one. There is nothing. So let me now walk you through preparing everything. So I will now stop things on my computer, so then ports are not occupied when I do this. And yeah, it needs some time to open. And let me open the README. Or I can just get the README from here, and we just need to follow the instructions in this README. The first thing is we need to get the OpenAI key. I will do that. So we need to copy this thing and create a, well, this is not what I wanted to do. So I needed to rename this, right? And now we need to put our OpenAI key. I will put it on pause, put the key, and then close it so I don't accidentally expose the key. So now the key is there, and I want to install direnv, which is a tool for loading these env.rc files. Sudo update. So first I need to, because this is a freshly created instance, I need to download all the information about packages and then install direnv. And then after installation, I need to install the hook. Okay, and now when I create a new terminal, it prompts me to allow direnv to run allow and load the key. So now I have the key, and now I can go to the next step, which is installing pipenv. Pipenv is the tool for managing dependencies that we use in this project. So these are all the dependencies we have here and here. So right now it will we have pipenv now, and I will run pipenv install dev. So then we install not only these dependencies that are needed for running the application, but also some dev dependencies that we need for developing, like Jupyter Notebook and other things. Okay, so it'll take now some time. In the meantime, I will continue doing the next step, which is running Docker Compose. Right now, in Docker Compose, we have three components: the application itself, Postgres, and Grafana. Last two things we need for logging and monitoring. So now I need to configure Postgres. Here, I will just execute that. Yeah, so we did not do direnv allow, but OpenAI key is only needed for the application. It's not needed for Postgres. So let's see what we need to do next. Yeah, okay, it's running. And we have installed all the dependencies, so I will do pipenv shell. So now I enter the virtual environment, and I can go to fitness assistant, and we need to do this. So then I can connect from my host machine, which is codespaces, to the container and initialize the database. Okay, the database is initialized. Then you can also check that the database is there. I will skip that part, and I will just run the entire thing by doing docker compose up. So it might take some time to run it because it needs to build the application using this Docker file. I will now put it on pause, and then when it starts, when it finishes and starts, I'll continue. It seems to be running. So now I want to check the logs quickly. So now Grafana is doing a lot of stuff. Let me go all the way up. Yeah, let me just open a new terminal and do docker ps to see Docker logs. Yeah, it seems to be working. So let me run pipenv run python cli.py. And now I can ask my question, which could be um, what I can do instead of a pull up. So instead of pull up, you can perform a banded pull up where your loop resistance bends around a pull up bar. Okay, I think this is a good answer, and I don't want to continue. Now I just want to show how to set up Grafana, so then we can see how monitoring works. Right, so I go back and then scroll all the way down to monitoring here. So Grafana should be accessible here. Probably I need to forward the port, yeah. So now let's see. Yeah, it is accessible. The default username password are admin. I don't want to replace it, so let's just keep it. Right now we don't have any data sources and dashboards, so we need to import the data source and the dashboard. All the Grafana related stuff is here. So, and there's this init script that allows us to simply import the data source and the dashboard. So I need to do this inside the virtual environment again. So I do pipenv shell. So then I go to Grafana. I want to make sure that, because remember when we initialized the database, we needed to set Postgres host to localhost. Because Grafana will connect to Postgres within Docker Compose, it needs to have the original name Postgres, not localhost. I need to make sure that that we don't overwrite it. So I'll write Postgres. Here I can see that Postgres host is Postgres, so this is good. This is what we expect. And right now I will just do Python init. Okay, right now what I did is created a data source and it created a dashboard, right? Now I can just simply refresh it and go to dashboards and see our dashboard. So right now, not much has been happening, but I can test it. So let me go one level up and I'll just run test. So what test is doing is just selecting a random question and then sends it to the application and then returns the answer. So I can run multiple tests. So each time there is a different question, like can you explain the proper form for doing handing knee raises? So right now, if I refresh, yeah, so I see a partly relevant. What is that? What muscles are primarily engaged during the incline dumbbell run? Yeah, I don't know why it's partly relevant. Maybe because it has some information about the muscles that are engaged and things that are actually other muscles. I don't know. There is probably, we should have an explanation in the database. We just don't show it here. Okay. Maybe we can actually include that right now just to see what is the explanation. And I just need to quickly see the name, relevance explanation. So I'll apply that. And but includes forearms as well, which is secondary muscle. Yeah, I guess. So the thing is like it already knows about fitness a lot. That's why maybe it says they are partly relevant. But this is good, right? So then we have some interesting stuff to show. Okay, so this was my project. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can read more about how it's implemented and what kind of technologies are used in this README file. Okay, that's all from me. Thanks for your attention.